Full name. Oh, wait, you have to say hello. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Svyatuka Sergey Vladimirovich. I was born on November 23, 1986 in the Luhansk region, the city of Zolotoy.
No formalities?
Fine.
There is such an organization, the Red Cross. Do you know such an organization?
I know they were supposed to come to me. My house was bombed, I wasn't there. I was in prison at the time.
Yes.
I got out of prison, we have an apartment in Luhansk.
Yes.
I lived there. I wrote to the Red Cross, they told me they would give me roofing slate and boards to start with. All sorts of different instruments. But in the end, they didn't give me anything. The central office of the Red Cross is located there. And I asked them a question.
You'd better go there yourself.
Yes, they tell me, write a statement. Then I applied for a passport.
Yes.
He says, write a statement. They took me to the Red Cross office. I explained the situation, they came and looked at the house. I showed them that I was really registered and lived there. I lived there with my father died.
When it was?
It was in 2015, around March.
Even before the war?
There was a war.
No, I mean before a full-scale invasion.
Yes.
Yes.
In the end no one helped me. So everything remained, destroyed.
In short, why am I talking about this? The Red Cross says that I am violating your rights when I talk to you.
Nobody violates my rights, I came here myself. If I didn't want to come here, I would say I don't. I would write some paper.
No documents are needed, we registered refuseniks today.
Or so. Yes, I came here voluntarily.
Were you not forced?
No.
How long have I known you? How many times have we spoken to you before?
This is the first time, honestly.
They just write that we are forcing you. We are forcing you.
Nobody is forcing anyone. If something was wrong, everyone would know about it.
We seem to be giving you instructions.
No, I speak from myself, everything is as it is.
So, okay. Come on, let's talk about the time. The war started in 2014. Where were you at that time and what was happening where you were?
It so happened that I ended up in prison. I live by myself. I have a criminal record, and there are few places to get a job.
Yes.
Like this.
You were in prison.
I was in prison.
Yes. What did they say in prison? What prison were you in?
In the 36th prison of Sukhodolsky, Luhansk region, Krasnodonsk district.
Do you remember 2014? No one has told us about that time yet. This, it turns out, is the other side of the war behind the walls, where they are serving their sentences.
Outside the walls. It should be said at once that there are fields all around us. Fields on one side. On the other side, houses are already starting, there is a village. And close to the building were grads and fired right outside the walls.
Whose grads?
I didn't see them.
It was their territory. Is the territory occupied?
It must have been Russian grads, because the Russian border is close by, and it seems to me that it was the Russians who were firing.
How far to the border?
Behind Krasnodon there is the village of Izvara, well, up to a maximum of 10 kilometers.
Ah, got it.
Border.
10 kilometers, yes.
Even less.
How long did they bomb there?
As long as I was there, it was always a mess. Some people would arrive, shooting could be heard. The thing is that I worked there in the industrial zone as a mechanic, in the stoker's shop, and there was a 3-story building. You go up to the 3rd floor, and there were constant flashes.
Was it in autumn 2014?
It was in 2014, 2015. There was always some kind of trouble going on somewhere. We would be woken up in the middle of the night and go to the bomb shelter.
Yes.
We ran to the bomb shelter, our numbers were checked against the file cabinet. Everybody come back. Time passes, we are asked to go to the basement again, and so it goes on and on.
Interested in what happened after the change of power. How did it happen in the colony? What changed? What did not change?
Everything had changed for the worse. The only thing that was okay was the food. It's gotten worse. It used to be okay. I mean, we used to watch TV during the day. Now it's like this, you come in the evening and they let you watch TV for an hour and a half. They turn on the water on a schedule, you don't have time to wash.
Did it start in 2014?
Yes. As soon as the LNR was formed, everything changed, the regime changed immediately, everyone started marching in formation. The Oman started to introduce these exercises.
What is this?
That is, Oman comes to us for drills, to practice strikes. Once I was in a separate isolation cell. This is how the corridor is arranged, maybe 2 meters wide, and in length, respectively. How many cells for prisoners? It's about 45 meters. And they stand along the walls on one side and on the other. They take you out of the cell, and you have to run past these 2 rows, and everyone starts hitting you with anything. That is, if you didn't run and fell somewhere, everyone beat you severely. I even had to lie in the sanitary unit because my coccyx was broken.
Was it like this before?
Then no one came to us.
That is, they came every 6 months?
They consistently came once every 6 months. For example, they came in August.
Well, you mean?
They always came in August and February, twice a year.
Everything.
It doesn't make any difference to them. Previously, under the Ukrainian government, when there was the Oman, and when Viktor Yanukovych disbanded the Oman, they came and were told whom to touch and whom not to touch.
Who is bad?
Yes, but not now. Now they themselves come to us, and they don't touch anyone they don't want.
It's clear.
Previously, only the boss let them into the zone, but now they come on their own.
What else besides beatings? The mode is we walk in formation, head down, hands behind our backs, right?
Yes.
What else has changed? The rights were limited.
Yes, our rights were very much restricted. Before, under the Ukrainian government, we could receive cigarettes in a parcel even every day. So you were entitled to 30 packs of cigarettes a day in one parcel. Tea was unlimited.
Yes.
Now once a month.
30 packs a day in one parcel?
Yes.
210 packs a week?
Yes. Mom could come at least every day, we only had a day off on Monday.
Well, as if no one cared, you could come every day.
Yes, but not now. Now every 36 or 40 days you can hand over a parcel. It's up to 30 kilograms, I think, I don't remember either, but you can't hand over more than that.
You robbed a fancy car, an Audi, and took $33,000 out of the glove compartment.
Yes.
How did you spend your first day after the theft, you remember?
I went straight to the restaurant.
In a restaurant, Yalta, right?
I went to my grandmother in Makashkala. And at that time I was well aware that I would immediately be put on the wanted list. I went to Crimea, to Yalta. I lived there.
When was that, 2006?
Yes, it was in 2005 to 2006. That is.
How long has it been since you were put on the wanted list?
2 weeks later I was already in Yalta, and I had an old SIM card, there was still Kyivstar then. Yes. And the police officer calls me from some other number, and I'm in Yalta, walking along the embankment. I picked up the phone and he said, "Hi, Seryoga, this is Andrei Vasilievich." I immediately realized that it was policeman Belasov. "How are you, when are you coming?" I do not tell him that I am in Yalta. I am in Stakhanov. I say I'll be there in a few days. I take the SIM card out of my phone and throw it into the sea and immediately buy a new SIM card. I was in hiding for 10 months.
You had a good time.
I got home late at night. I didn't turn on the lights. I thought I would deal with it in the morning, but in the morning I was already woken up by the police. They grabbed me and took me to the police station.
What is the prison term?
I was given 5 years and 1 month. I was brought to prison number 36.
How many times?
Twice.
Twice.
5 years and 1 month, but I was released a year early. I served 4 years and a month. I got out a year earlier and was released from supervision.
How was it in Lugansk in 2019?
Quiet, yes. It was quiet.
Did you have water, light?
There was water, there was light, but the water supply was intermittent.
More often there was no water, or was there?
There were times when there was no water for a whole week, and after the water was turned on, in short, it flowed rusty from the tap, and it was impossible to drink or use it. I have to buy water. And how can I buy it if, for example, I have a criminal record, and they don't hire people with a criminal record?
In Ukraine, this is not a problem.
In Ukraine, you come to work, you realize you are free, and you need to work somewhere, you don't go straight to stealing.
Well, yes. In short, in this Russia, if you are convicted, you immediately fall under the yoke.
Yes. Nobody looks at you.
Before the arrival of Russia, this was much easier.
Much easier, especially since I'm a good welder.
How long did you work after your first prison term?
I worked at the Lugansk Teplovoz factory.
Were you asked about your criminal record?
No one asked me anything. I worked normally, I even upgraded my qualifications as a welder.
It's about the principles of how systems work. In Russia, if you are convicted, you are crossed for life, without options. It doesn't matter in our country. If you're a normal person, then...
That is, in Ukraine, they provided all the opportunities. If you work well, they look at you, give you a trial period of up to 2 months. And that's it, they see that you are working well and can move on, for God's sake. But not here.
It's clear.
Now it's not.
What happened in 2019?
I went to factories, they didn't take me to the factory. I met one person, and he was engaged in welding, made lattices, tables, sheds. Well, in general, all welding work.
Working with metal.
We went to his friend, made him a canopy. Yes, canopy. A man saw me there and said, we should make a greenhouse. And there were 2 of us, me and this man I was working for. And Dima said to me, can you make a greenhouse? Yeah, easy. They made one greenhouse for him, then they made a second one. These were greenhouses for cucumbers, they turn out to be 30 centimeters wide, large.
There was a lot of work.
And he saw that I can work well, and he told me to stay. He grew vegetables.
He is Ukrainian?
Yes.
This suggests that they do not look at the criminal record. If a person is normal, sane.
Yes, I worked, and he always provided me with a proper job. He says to me, stay, and I stayed with him. I lived with him from 2019 until they grabbed me right in the field and took me away.
How was it and when was it?
It was in 2022 in the summer. I was picked up on August 19th. We were working on a tomato harvest. There's a gazelle. We put tomatoes directly from the field into crates and load them into a gazelle, after which we deliver the goods to the wholesale market.
Yes.
We're loading tomatoes when 2 cars pull up. One police car with blue license plates and another one. Well, I don't know what kind of car it is. I was asked, who are you? He asked me to show my ID. Well, I didn't have a passport. I had a Ukrainian passport, but it was lost. I did not get a new passport, and I did not want to make a LNR passport, I never had one.
You are well done.
They wrote down my surname, first name, patronymic and handed me a summons. Then they took me away. No one asked me whether I wanted to go or not.
Where were you sent?
I was immediately sent to Bryanka, to Military Unit 08-807. They kept me there all day. They asked if I would call my relatives and friends. And I had no one to call. But no one will come, no one will save me anyway, they have already taken me to the unit. And there they tell me, now they will put on shoes, dress you and take you to the exercises. As a result, we were put on shoes and dressed, gathered everyone who was there, about 30 people, and immediately took us to Popasnaya. We do not have weapons, we do not know what to do, how to behave, there is a war going on. And the city no longer exists, since all the houses have already been destroyed.
Summer of the 22nd?
Yes, yes. 2 days passed, on the third day we were brought there.
Did you hear explosions, gunfire?
Yes, I'll tell you about it now. In short, we were fed once a day. I go with the guy together to the dining room, we go into the dining room, put food on our plate. We hear an explosion. 2 shells fell side by side, the windows flew out. There, all these things, the ammunition that were there, began to explode.
You were in shock.
Yes. As a result, 9 or 10 cars burned there.
Our guys are great.
Yes.
They are really great. Our military? Are you Ukrainian or Russian?
I am Ukrainian.
Did you understand the essence of the question? To whom do you refer yourself?
I have remained the same person.
You don't need Russia.
I didn't need it before or now. I lived quietly. Well, it's clear that.
You made a mistake.
It happens, it's nothing, I'm not the only one. And the court was located in Popasna, eventually after the bombing they moved somewhere else. And I was immediately sent to Solidar. You will be a mechanic on Infantry Fighting Vehicle 1.
Have skills?
Then I saw her for the first time. Well, I'm getting the hang of it now. I trained as a mechanic, I wasn't a soldier. We transported infantry to different places. Sometimes we transported food.
How long were you a driver and how long were you in the war?
On the front line, where I was taken prisoner, I was only 8-9 days. And how did I get there? For example, I had to be on duty in an infantry fighting vehicle. I was in the 6th company. For example, we were supposed to be on duty. We went with a kid to get cigarettes so we had something to smoke at night.
It's clear.
The commandant's office stops us. Who are you? 6th company, 7th brigade, we're going for cigarettes. He asked us, where is your leave sheet? I replied that we were not given such forms. We always went there, we live 500 meters away from the market. We were brought to the commandant's office in Lysychansk. Together with Oleg, we sat in the basement for 24 hours. Some man came to us, I saw him for the first time, picked us up and brought us to the headquarters in Privole. He said, that's it, you are now serving in the Storm Detachment. I asked, what is Storm?
I wanted to say that you were enlisted in the penal battalion.
They give you a machine gun and send you to the front line. I said, I've never been to war. He said that no one asks anyone.
Doesn't matter.
Nobody cared, they would have made us. So we came there. On March 1st we were sent to Belazirovka or Belagorovka.
Belazirovka, Belagorovka.
We sat there for a day in a trench, and then our most senior commander was there.
Have you tried reporting this to the military unit?
But this unit turned out to be. When they took us from the commandant's office.
Yeah.
It turns out that this headquarters, my battalion commander, this battalion commander from Storm, they were all there in the same room. I say, like this, and like this, I explain the situation, he doesn't even hear me, he doesn't hear me or Oleg. I was the mechanic and Oleg was the gunner.
They replenished the squad.
4 of us are sent shorter to positions where there was no one before, 100 meters away from the Ukrainian military and 300 meters away from our military. They bring us there and tell us to dig trenches. They didn't give us food, and I got frostbite on my feet there too. We were told, if you return, we will shoot you or maim you. And if you go there, the same thing will happen to you. Well, maybe we won't cripple you, but we'll shoot you. Well, they dig trenches like this, 2 trenches in one lane, and 2 trenches in the other lane. Not only was there 1 trench, we were digging the 2nd trench as well. We were supposed to be replaced in the morning, but no one did.
How long did you stay there?
8 or 9 days, 8.
What did you eat?
Then, briefly, the boys tell me. With swollen feet, I myself went twice a week to replenish food and water.
What about other people? They saw your feet.
And we were told that someone there had done something badly wrong. We were to be given access to the bathhouse, that is, the 4 of us were to be shifted for a day, 1 day, so that we could wash, and we had to be replaced by others. We were supposed to wash up, then come back, and then we were supposed to be replaced by other people. And in the end nobody replaced us. One of them got drunk, and because of him there was no bathhouse. We were not allowed to wash.
They drink a lot there, right?
Oh, they drink a lot. But where Oleg went, I don't know. He's probably not alive. We were sent to our deaths.
Is it possible to win like this?
Is there anything to be gained by doing this? I showed him my legs, really, and they were starting to turn blue. I said, let me go to the medical unit for a day, let them look at me, give me some kind of ointment, and I'll be back. Where is there to run? But in the end they refused me. They told me to wait for a shift.
How did you get caught?
We were sitting in a trench. We were hiding from the shelling, then it stopped, but we didn't get out of the trenches. We thought we should wait it out, because it was still light. The Ukrainians told us, come out. Well, we surrendered quietly, we didn't shoot.
How many people?
4.
All here?
Well, 2 were exchanged, 2 stayed here. 1 refused, and here I am.
Yes. Tell me about a person who doesn't want to talk to me. How it was. Why did you go to talk and he didn't? The Red Cross claims we're forcing people to talk, and here's a witness his partner refused to talk.
Yeah, he didn't want to. He said that if his mom found out about it, his mom seems to have a heart disease, if somebody found out, the neighbors for example, and told her, she might not be able to take it, she might have a second heart attack and she might die. So he didn't want to talk about it and he said so.
He didn't write a waiver.
He said it on camera. Nobody said anything to him, he returned.
Sits and rests.
I mean, no one is doing anything about it.
What will happen next? I'm talking about the war.
There will be no sense from this.
Yes?
The Russians won't win. I do not understand the meaning of this war.
We want to sort it all out. I'm talking to Russians, trying to figure it out. They don't even know what they are doing here, why they came. What do they say? I mean there, in the war. They have come to save you.
From what?
I don't know, better tell me yourself.
What did I have to be rescued from in Luhansk? Everything suited me.
Before the war?
Yes.
Well, they said you want to secede from Ukraine.
I did not support secession from Ukraine. Well, I'm Ukrainian, right?
Yes.
I was serving time in prison, and the authorities suddenly changed, but why didn't anyone come and say, you are from Ukraine, what do you want, to continue sitting here or to go to Ukraine? Why didn't they do that?
What would you choose?
Return to Ukraine.
Would you serve your sentence in Ukraine?
Here I have a certificate, I would take my certificate or my mother would bring it from home.
Yes.
She would take this document to where I am in Ukraine. I would find a job, get a passport and live peacefully. How did I live before?
And who are you in Russia?
And who is Russian there? Yes, nobody. They see that you are from the LPR and the attitude is not the same as towards the Russians.
What relation?
Completely different attitude.
Do Russians treat you differently?
Yes.
And how does it manifest itself?
You can't see it from the outside, but the attitude is quite different, not like the attitude towards Russians. How many times I was in the unit, I was never given uniforms, I bought everything myself. And then you see the Russians come in, they put on shoes and clothes. They say, we are given everything, we have everything. Why don't they give us anything? Are we not people like you? Or are we paid a salary and we have to buy everything ourselves? When you are somewhere in the village, you are placed somewhere in a dilapidated building. No light, no water, nothing. You ask for help from the locals or buy everything yourself.
Either way, they won't succeed.
I usually say, I do not see the point, as before. I once asked our combatant, his call sign Sumrak, a question, what is the essence of this war? And he said to me, are you the smartest one here? Yeah, you know, he's sitting there in the basement, and I'm riding in an infantry fighting vehicle somewhere. There's shooting going on, and he's sitting there just giving orders. Of course, I have to realize what's going on, even if nobody tells me that. Anyway, I might die and he might not. He can get into the car and drive away from there.
Bad supply.
Everything is sad.
Badly?
Yes.
Shit commanders.
Yes.
Well, maybe.
Maybe there are normal commanders, but among us, where I served. How can this be said? There wasn't one. We had what is called a company commander. His nickname is Kazakh. I don't even know what his name is. He says, guys, we need to collect 5,000 per person per car. We have to buy a vehicle to transport company soldiers.
Let me guess, he stole your money.
They buy a car 6. Later we learned that it cost 30,000 rubles.
How much did you raise?
From all of us, we eventually collected an amount of 250,000. But the car seems to be needed, it is really needed. As a result, he takes sick leave.
Company commander?
Yes. Yes, our company commander.
Company commander.
The company commander is being replaced.
Yes.
He also says, I'll take the money that the previous company commander collected, I'll take the car, but we don't give a damn about the car. That is, we saw that this is not a car, but shit. We will sell this car and buy a new one. He buys himself a US Patriot.
Yes.
A week passes, we collect a new sum of money, but not 5,000, but 10,000 per person. A week passes, he goes to the hospital, drives away in this car and disappears without a trace.
Was there a third commander?
The third commander came. He is always drunk, he always likes to drink. I saw him only once.
Does he need to buy a car too?
Maybe they already bought him a car. And as a result we were left without a car. We lost both the money we had given earlier and the money we had given to the commander of the second company. We were also given mere payment cards. I got my card in December, and in January I got my paycheck in cash. A private soldier should be paid 176,500.
Yes.
And from January to this day there are no paychecks on the card. I have not received a paycheck once this year.
Incredible.
Yes.
Very good. By tradition, our prisoners of war turn to fellow countrymen, to their colleagues. You can tell if going to war is worth it. Is it worth it? How many pairs of socks to take?
Guys, there's nothing to do here, stay home. You have wives, mothers, fathers, it's better to dig the earth, work in the vegetable garden. First of all, it's not worth it. And secondly, I don't see the point of this war. Somebody's making money out of it, and you're just ruining your lives. Tomorrow you'll be sent somewhere and you'll die there.
How many were wounded and killed in your company?
There? If the 4 of us had not been taken prisoner, we would have died. We don't have anyone.
Where are they?
Don't know. The first time we went into position, it was in the daytime, although we said to the commander, well, why are you taking us into position in the daytime? We're just getting shot at. No, go in the afternoon. 82 or 72 people, 6 people left.
Are the others killed?
Killed or wounded.
For one day?
This is on the first day when we were just taken to positions. I was shell-shocked.
Again, how many people were there?
70 or 81, 82.
Let there be 75, and how many people do you have left?
6.
This is great.
I want to go home.
Come back home? Is it necessary?
It's nice to be home.
And you won't go to war again?
I won't go there. I'd rather steal something, have them put me in jail.
Wagner will come to you.
I won't go. I'd rather sit in a pretrial detention center until the end of my term. Why do I need this war? It is not mine.
Well, yes. Okay, thank you.
I worked on the field, did not touch anyone, did not interfere with anyone. Although I didn't make a lot of money, I had everything.
Phone, food, cigarettes.
Of course, I was just taken off the field. They didn't ask me if I wanted to or not. No, go.
Well, yes.